So, as promised in the last video, here we're going to talk about the animation preferences window. You open it up with this little icon here in the lower right, and there it is. You see there's all kinds of categories here. There's just tons and tons of stuff, and we're not going to go through all of this because, well, life's too short. But you may want to explore some of this later. We're going to look at this one here called Time Slider. You see there's our playback start and end, and animation start and end at 1 through 24 and 1 through 48, which is what our sliders are set for here. You can change the height of the slider, make it bigger if that's to your liking. The key ticks, that's for when you're setting keyframes a little bit later on, whether or not they're there, a couple of the options on them. Now this playback speed is very important, so we're going to stop and talk about this for a second. There's a couple of different choices you can make here. You can choose to play every frame. Now if you play every frame and your animation is not that complex, it's going to go by in a blur because your computer is probably fast enough that it's going to play those frames faster than you can even see them. Now, the next one here is real time, 24 frames per second. That says, okay, play the animation in real time. Try to play all 24 frames if you can. Now, we talked about a simple animation where it would try to play it much faster. This will slow that down so that it's not playing too fast. But what it's also going to do is if your animation is very, very complex and your system just can't keep up with all the frames and render them in 1/24 of a second, it'll skip some so that the animation flow stays right. Now, that's going to turn out to be what you'll use most of the time. And we'll use it now, just because our animations to begin with are going to be pretty simple, so we don't want them to go by in a blur. Now, there's a couple other settings here you might find useful. You can experiment with them, half and twice. They may be of value. But the 24 frame real time is kind of where we usually stay. Now, we're going to look here at the settings, the major topic. It is actually a window also. And the first thing here, this world coordinate system up axis. The way Maya is configured by default, the y-axis is up. And that's pretty standard in systems that were designed for animation, for film and TV and things like that. But some systems have their long ago roots in CAD, computer-aided drafting. And those systems have X and Y sort of on the horizontal plane, and Z is the up axis. And what this is just saying is that you can reorient Maya to be that way if you want to. There's a program called 3D Studio Max that is done that way. And if you're largely working with that and just a little bit with Maya, you may want to reorient Maya so it meets the Max convention. But that's up to you. We won't touch it. We'll leave it at up axis is Y, and probably you will too. Now the units here, the working units, the linear units by default are centimeters, angular are degrees, but you can change those. You can set them to meters or inches. You can change the angular to radians. Now the time here, this one is probably even more important. By default it's set to film, which we said was 24 frames per second. But we've also got these NTSC, which are television settings. Television is 30 frames, actually 29.97 frames per second, but it's actually twice as many of that fields. It's actually 60 or almost 60 fields per second because of the way TV is broadcast. These are technical details. You don't really have to worry about that for the most part right now, but just realize film is about 24, television is about 30. Now we've also got these other settings here. Some of them are for PAL, which is in other countries is used, slightly different television broadcast type standards. And you can also just set a number of frames per second that you can do. And some of these are very, very high numbers used for scientific simulations and things, more than anything we're likely to be doing for TV, film, video game sequencing, things like that in this program. But they're available to you, all kinds of different choices here. But we're going to leave it on film 24 frames per second for now. But just there's that. Okay, well, that's only a couple of these settings. If you change something, you can click Save. We're just going to close it, and that's it for now.